Hello everyone. Today we are starting our unit on bonding. And before we really get into bonding, we need to go over a couple things first. So we're going to start with what are called Lewis dot diagrams. So what you see here are instructions on how to make a Lewis dot diagram. I'll have these in a file on your Schoology folder for today, so you'll be able to have access to these outside of this video. So essentially what a Lewis dot diagram is, it's a way that we represent valence electrons for an atom. And our steps below tells you the first thing you do is write out the symbol for your element. So our example that we're going to work through right now is nitrogen. So I have the symbol for nitrogen here. Next, it says determine the number of valence electrons by locating the group the element belongs to. So remembering that the groups on our periodic table are going to tell us the number of valence electrons. So on your periodic table, nitrogen is right here in group 15, which we also call 5A. So every element in this group has 5 valence electrons. Nitrogen in group 15 or 5A, therefore it has 5 valence electrons. The last step is to place the valence electrons around the symbol and do not pair electrons together until each side has 1 electron. So we have 5 valence electrons that are placed around our symbol for nitrogen N. So I want you to look at the correct way versus the wrong way. So notice on the correct way, there is 1 electron on each of the 4 sides, okay, before we start pairing the electrons up together. Now over here, yes, there are 5 electrons, but we have 1 side of the symbol that is left bare. We would have to put 1 electron on each side before we paired them together. Another incorrect way to draw the Lewis dot diagram for nitrogen would be something like this. Okay, so again, we have a side that doesn't have an electron on it and other sides that have 2 electrons. Another correct version of our Lewis dot diagram for nitrogen would be this. Okay, so we have our 5 valence electrons around our symbol for nitrogen. Each side of nitrogen has a valence electron before we started pairing them together. Okay, so there are right and wrong ways to draw those diagrams. Down below, I have a few more examples for you. So our purpose here is to be able to look at a Lewis dot diagram and interpret it. So this is a Lewis dot diagram for sodium. So based on this Lewis dot diagram, I can infer that sodium has 1 valence electron and it is located in group 1 or 1A. Neon has 8 valence electrons, so it is located in group 18 or 8A. Boron has 3 valence electrons and would be located in group 3A or 13. Sulfur has 6, so it's in group 16 or 6A. Magnesium has 2, so it's located in group 2 or 2A. And carbon has 4 valence electrons, so it is located in group 14 or 4A. So it's just a nice, good shorthand way to represent the valence electrons for our elements. What you're going to be working on today is this sheet. So this is going to be something that you're going to practice on just at home. So what I want you to do, and this is not something that you're submitting to me today, this is purely for practice, and I'll have the key posted, is to go through each of your elements, and you can do this with pencil and paper. If you have access to a printer, you'll be able to print this out. But go through each one of your elements, place the valence electrons correctly for each one of your elements, and then check your work. So remember that before we start pairing those electrons together on either side, we have to have 1 on all sides. All right, so make sure you have access to a periodic table while you're working on these so that you know how many valence electrons belong around each one of those symbols. And again, these notes will be available for you in today's folder. If you have any questions, you can always message me and I'll be happy to help. Good luck.